just read 14 chapters of Eye of the World, and honestly, I'm invested at this point. Deeply invested. If you've been following my Wheel of Time journey, buckle up. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexis Brianna and I am so glad that you're here. I am reading Wheel of Time, the book series, the entire book series for the very first time. I'm currently on book 1 and I've just been vlogging my experience of reading it. I actually did a vlog on chapters 1 through 9. I'll link that down below, and I just fell in love with the TV series with my husband. It was one of those shows that we watched together and we already had intended on reading the book series because we wanted to know what comes next. We wanted to compare it against the show. And Amazon decided that they were going to cancel it for now. I do feel like they're going to bring it back, or like someone's going to pick up the show. That's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about. But anyways, I've just been recording my reading sessions, and so we're going to get started on chapter 10. And I'm not going to get started tonight. I just wanted to like get this vlog kicked off. I don't have the time to read as much as I want to, so I'm not going to read it. I'm going to read it tomorrow because I'm going to have some more time to get in some reading. So we're going to do that. I'm going to leave this first half, or I guess the first section of the vlog, spoiler free, because if you're reading it, I don't want to spoil it for you. And I want you to be able to read along with me and enjoy that. But at the end, I will give you a spoiler alert, I guess, warning or whatever you want to call it. I will let you know when I get into the spoilers for all of my thoughts, comparisons, ruminations, and all of those things. So the first half, or the first part, I don't know why I keep saying half, but the first part of the vlog will be spoiler free, and then the last section will have spoilers, but I will give you time to hop on off if you're reading and you don't want spoilers. Did I cover everything? I think I did. Hopefully I did. Hopefully I did. Anyways, grab something to drink, grab something to eat. We're going to be here for a good time. I don't know if it's going to be a long time. I don't know how long I'm going to read. I'm going to end it at a good plot point. That's what I'm going to. I don't know when I'm going to end it, but we'll end it at a good stopping point. How about that? All right. Did I say grab something to drink? If I did, grab something to drink, grab something to eat. We're going to hang out. All right. See you on the first reading session. Okay, so can we talk? I have been avoiding talking to you because I don't want to give away spoilers. I'm trying to keep these reading vlogs, specifically around the Wheel of Time series, as spoiler free in the beginning as possible, and then leaving the spoilers towards the end. And I'm struggling. So I'm avoiding you. I'm basically avoiding you because I'm like, how can I share my thoughts without giving away spoilers? So anyways, based on where we're at right now, my thoughts spoiler free is that Mr. Jordan was a master tension builder writer. Like, you're basically, how I felt is, even though I have watched the TV show, so I know in general what's happening, but the way that he's building it, and also based on like what they cut or sped up in the TV show versus the book, it's like, do I really know what's going on? Like, do I really know what's about to happen? Like, in general, I know, but is this the thing about to happen? Or is this a new thing? Or is this thing that they basically condense and it's really not the thing? So it's like, my heart is just basically like this. Like, he was a master just tension. And it's like, you know, when in those movies where you have like the very dramatic music and it's like building up, like Jaws, like da na 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 na. That's basically what's happening. And I've just really been enjoying it. Again, it is a much more slowed down and paced version of the TV show, but I've been enjoying it. I think that's just a part of the difference between the TV show and the book. I think I talked about this before, where it's like you have more time in a book to build certain things, to have more character development, to have just different aspects of storytelling coming in, and I think it's definitely evident in the book. So I'm about to get some reading in, and I'm gonna leave it there. Because I didn't want to give away any spoilers. So let's get into some reading. I feel like this is a good place to stop. So where we're at in the journey, without giving away spoilers, you can just tell that everyone's tired. They're weary, they're tired, and the way that Mr. Jordan has written this, you can feel the toll that the journey is taking on them. Spiritually, emotionally, physically, you can feel the toll of the journey, and it pulls you in a way where you're like you feel it, you know what I mean? Trying to give like my thoughts without giving things away, but yeah, you just feel it. The way that he has written it, you can sense that something is around the corner, or there's like a turning point coming, but you don't know what it is because he's not spelling it out. Like you know where they're going to, but you don't know what's going to necessarily be in their way along the way. And even as someone who's read or watched the TV show, there's a lot of things that are missing in the TV show versus what's in the book. And so I'm like, do I know what's coming around the bend? Do I even know? You know, so it's been a very enjoyable read, and that was a really good chapter. That was a really good chapter. So I will see you when I dive into chapter 18. Okay, y'all, so we gotta talk. Something major, which I won't say, has happened in the plot. And you can definitely sense the shift in like the vibe, just the overall vibe amongst the group. You get what I'm saying? And just to be able to see how much character development has happened, and technically we're like still a little under halfway through, and there's been so much character development from where we started in the Two Rivers, and just to see how basically being thrust into an uncomfortable, unfamiliar environment and just see just a new world essentially for them has developed them in a way where they're essentially growing into versions of themselves that I don't think either would have existed or that they didn't even know existed within them to exist. And just being able to see that develop and grow and happen it's so gratifying. Like it's awesome. And okay, no, I can't say that. I'm like trying to think of what I can and can't say. To just see the new relationship dynamics, if you will, and the new relationships forming, and you can't give stuff away, Alexis. Just the new world views and new perspectives that are happening, and to see how some things that were deep within them that probably wouldn't have been brought out if they wouldn't have been placed into such an unfamiliar situation, like be pulled out of them, because you know change comes from being uncomfortable in unfamiliar places. And so like you see that change happening, you know, trying not to give stuff away, but you see the change happening. What he is doing is slowly even expanding our worldview while he's doing it with them. So like the initial journey, trek, quest, if you will, I think that's the proper terminology. The quest that they're on seemed really small, right? We need to do this, right? You can tell that some of the characters know it's bigger than that, but like they're not letting on because they don't want to scare the group, right? But now as we're getting deeper into the story, you see, oh no, like it really is a much bigger quest than we initially were introduced to, or what was initially explained, even though that was alluded to. And just the way that Mr. Jordan was able to slowly even open us up to the world, the politics, the magic system. We haven't even really gotten into the meat and potatoes of it yet. And it's just like a gradual expanding of the world for us as the readers, and it doesn't feel overwhelming, which I think that is one of the things that a lot of fantasies get wrong, is that they just thrust you into the world building. They kind of info dump on you, and it's just like, okay, that was a lot of information and I don't remember a lot of it. Remember a lot of it. And the way that he was able to basically introduce like different parts of the world and the systems, I think it's awesome. But again, you have to be patient. I think this book this brick is a lesson in patience, and it being worth it if you stick through it and just enjoy the journey and not like rush through it or like just try to hurry it along. But anyways, I've been enjoying it. I think I'll be able to get 2 chapters ish, maybe 3, 2. We'll see. I think I'll be able to at least get 2 chapters in of reading, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's get to reading. Okay, I think that chapter 24 is a really good place to stop just based on that last scene. Things are going to pick up from here. So if you want to keep things spoiler free, I'll give you my thoughts over the last 14 chapters before I get deeper into it. So I'm really loving how broader the world is. I think that we started at a small village and things were really uncertain, and now we're really in the thick of things. We're in the thick of the quest, and I think that time and space have really given the characters a lot of time to grow and develop, if you will, in different directions. And I'm just really loving how layered things are. Yes, I feel like I didn't give anything away in that, but those are my non-spoiler thoughts for chapters 10 through 14. All right, so it's time for my spoiler-filled thoughts. So if you haven't had a chance to get to chapter 24, or you don't want spoilers, or whatever the case may be, click off the video now and just come back when you're ready for the spoiler thoughts of chapters 10 through 24. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds because I don't want you to say I spoiled it for you, so we're gonna give you a couple of minutes, or seconds, really, seconds. All right, so if you're still here, you are okay with spoilers. So, also, just a quick heads up. I have not watched season 1 since it initially came out, so my memory is maybe a little fuzzy around some of the finer details. I do plan on doing a full rewatch of season 1 after I complete the book, but for now, I just want to let you know that just give me some grace. Give me some grace if things or some of the details that I'm remembering from the show are a little off. All right, so let's dive into my thoughts. I am going to be referencing some notes because I didn't want to go down rabbit trails and all of the things and things that I noticed. I want to keep them nice, tidy, and organized. So I want to cover 4 of the different, like, I would say, shifts that I noticed that were different between the show and the book, specifically, again, for chapters 10 through 24. I know that there are other things coming down the road, but these are the things that I want to mention. So pacing, structure, character focus, the tone and magic, and then what was significantly changed or left out from the show to the book. So let's dive into pacing and structure first. One of the biggest differences that I noticed in the show versus the book is how much time the book spends letting the story just breathe. And in the book, we get multiple cities like Baerlon and Shadar Logoth, and those are either cut or collapsed in the show. But in the book, they're not just like short pit stops. Like each place, each city deepens the world, it broadens the world, and it reshapes the group's journey. Like they learn something along the way. And in Baerlon specifically, it gives so much character development early on that I think that you're just able to get a glimpse into how different the outside world is from the 2 rivers. And I think in the show, it completely skips Baerlon. Like, you go straight from the 2 rivers into a long chase. And I mean, it makes sense for a tighter timeline for the TV show, but I think that you lose some of the perspectives and stories of like regular people in this humongous world. And I don't know, I think that loss of perspective impacts the show. And also the way that the group gets separated in the book is very different. So it's more chaotic and abrupt, and you're really having to sit in the disorientation of that separation for literal chapters versus in the show, the separation happens, but like they reunite like fairly quickly. Again, tight TV timeline and show, things like that. But in the book, we're also able to follow their different perspectives or their different journeys through that separation. And I think that really adds another layer on to making the stakes more personal. It makes the world bigger, and it's just a nice break in the, I won't say monotony, but like just the sameness of Rand's perspective of the world. Just being able to get inside Nynaeve's head and Perrin's head, I think just really, I think it made the story deeper, and I think it was a good point to add in different POVs at that point in the story. So let's dive into character changes, because I would say more so than chapters 1 through 9, I really, really noticed the differences in the characters from the book versus the show in this section of the book. And I would say with book Matt and show Matt might as well be cousins. I mean, they're not the same. They're not the same. In the show, he's basically the group's the troubled character with a rough family life. But in the book, he's more mischievous, a bit annoying. And I guess you could say he's humorous in his own kind of way. But his change in behavior after Shadar Logoth is like a big emotional shift from that levity, versus I think that contrast is missing for me in the show, because he already started out as a troubled or tortured soul, you know? So the contrast after that point doesn't hit as hard. You know what I mean? So let's talk about Rand. Honestly, Rand. I am more annoyed and also more intrigued by book Rand now in this point. Like his confusion, his dreams, the way that he keeps getting thrown into impossible situations makes him more relatable. However, like his, like, I guess you could say, desire to control Egwene's decision making or her decisions or hold her back is grating on my absolute last nerve. Absolute last nerve. On the other side, I think in the book he's giving more reluctant chosen one. You know what I mean? Like he's giving that. I think that the show hinted at this, but it didn't feel as layered or earned like the reluctant chosen one. You know what I mean? And they're not even yet saying that he's the chosen one in the book. I mean, I'm just kind of assuming that because that's the only perspective up until I forget where the first new POV came in. But it's like we got all these chapters of other people and he's more of the focus, but I don't know. It's just he's a complex character who I am understanding more, but also annoyed by at the same time. Yeah. So yeah, while I am enjoying book Rand, I'm also annoyed by him. Like I'm understanding him, but at the same time, chill out. Like, just chill out. Just chill out. So, next up, let's cover Nynaeve. I think that's the last person that I'm going to cover. Yes. Okay, so Nynaeve specifically. I am so enjoying, like, just the banter and just her personality in the book, and the way that she re-enters the story in the book is just, it's satisfying because she tracks them down herself and she shows up like, oh, you thought I couldn't handle myself? You thought I couldn't find you? And I found you, you know? And I just think that she gives a different vibe than the show, where in the show she's powerful and emotionally distant early on, but I think that the book gives her more nuance. Like, she's more layered in the book. Yeah. Yeah. So next up, let's cover tone and magic. So the tone in the book, I think, is darker, but in like a different way than the show. So in the show, you get like fast edits, you get gore, you get trollics, you get fades, like in your face. But in the book, it's like more subtle. It's like they use atmosphere more for like the creepiness, and Ranch Dreams are a good example of this. Like, they're disturbing and they unfold in a slow, surreal way where you're like questioning, is this real? Is this not? And you really don't know it's not real till he comes out of it. And Shadar Logoth was eerie, creepy, and weird. But in the show, it feels like a pit stop. Like, it's still weird, but it's not like as creepy. And then also the magic system also feels more mysterious in the book. Like, Moraine doesn't explain everything outright. Like, she gives you glimpses, or you get glimpses through action and implication. It's not like in your face, I feel like, as much as the show. I don't know. It's just like you see her doing it versus, and you experience it versus it just being spoon fed to you. And I think this is also something that I enjoy about the book. I think I talked about this earlier, is it world builds and builds slowly, but in a way where it's not like all in your face. It's not info dumping. And I think I really appreciate that, because there's a lot of fantasies out there that they just info dump. They info dump and then they're like here, and you're like, I'm not gonna remember all of that. Okay, so let's cover what the book has that the show decided to cut, change, amend, speed up, condense, all that. In the last vlog, I kind of talked about this, where just the foreshadowing is integrated in a way and just packed in so, I mean, moments that feel small, but they're not, and like the tension that builds underneath the surface. So we have like Matt's dagger, Ranch Dreams, Perrin's growing unease. Like, they're all subtle, but like very intentional. And I think that the book trusts you to pick up on those things without just spelling it out for you. And I think that that is something that I'm really loving in each chapter. Like, where are the Easter eggs? It's like an Easter egg hunt. And I just think that the world feels more lived in, and the characters feel like real people beyond just the page. And I don't think that the show had enough time to build that, but the book gives you room to explore and observe and absorb the world. And the last thing that I'll say is that this section definitely made me appreciate the ambition of the show more. Like, it also helped me understand too why book fans were frustrated by what got left out or changed. You know, I think if you come into this book series through the show like I did, the book opens it up, I think, in a very beautiful and complex way, and it's worth experiencing. But I think you also have to tell yourself that you only know like a little scoop, like a little pinch of what the journey really is, because there's so much that has changed, again, that has been cut and altered and all of those things. So you have to go in knowing that you know a little bit, but you don't know a lot. Okay, there's so much I still did not even touch on or cover, but I want to save that for the deeper dive when I do my full recap, because I feel like this is getting long. So I want to end my thoughts there. For those reading along, how did this section of the book land for you? And also, did you appreciate like the different POVs, and did the group splitting up hit you like in a different way or emotionally? And what were your first impressions? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, I want to know, like, are you enjoying this style of reading vlog and just Wheel of Time recaps? Like, let me know also in the comment section. And I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've really been enjoying just experiencing Wheel of Time in this way, and I hope you have too. So if you've made it to this point in the video, welcome to the end of the video, crew. Be sure to drop a clock down in the comment section. I always love to know who's made it to the end of the video with me. If you enjoyed the vlog, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a new video from me. All right, until the next time, happy reading. Bye, y'all.